Exodus. I wish Miss Pam was here to talk. I've been going around in circles about this topic for 3 years. It's a sensitive topic. It's a divisive topic, but it's a lethal and necessary topic. Over the last 3 years, I've witnessed a silent but dangerous exodus in the black community with black women. Yes, the one group least likely to date out, sex out, and marry out, and procreate out. Black women are leaving black men, and they're not coming back. A few years ago, I was in Philly looking around at the new upscale shops and eateries. I strolled around the Rittenhouse in downtown Market East Street, eager to see what was new and what survived. I witnessed with my own eyes black women, mostly youngish, some middle-aged, adorably pretty, mainly slender, natural-haired, well put together, educated, soft, feminine, girl next doorish, soft-spoken with banging ass bodies with non-black, mostly white males. They were in their own world. They window shopped together, laughed at their own jokes, held hands, shared coffee. One white man handed a black woman a tissue for her runny nose. It was intimate. It was an intimate, sweet gesture. I sat behind one black female, I think, his Hispanic male. They sat and spoke quietly to each other. He paid the check with a credit card and not once did she ever reach for her pocketbook. My observation heightened over the years when I saw black college girls and women with their white and mostly brown-skinned Asian boyfriends. At the market, they strolled hand in hand, looking at any little thing and speaking amongst themselves. I spoke to a former Black Power, fist in the air, black female about what was going on. Her simple response: "We're sick of bullshit. We're sick of the bullshit." Miss Pam and I used to speak on many topics like this privately and wondered what would become of the black race if the last line of defense, the black female, said fuck this shit. I choose happiness over struggle. Over the past 10 to 15 years, I've watched and read as black men took to a public forum to tell the entire world that their women, the womb, the vagina, the cooking, the housekeeping, the sex, the conversation, and the very existence of their mirror image isn't worth a goddamn. I've heard horror stories from my own readers about the abuse, the beatings, the killings, the rape, and molestation from their men in their family and neighborhoods. I listened to the rantings of angry, depressed black men who blame the black female for his failings in life, all because she wears too much makeup and has on a hair weave. Never mind the fact that she allows him to live in her house for free, eat her food, sleep on her couch, bed, provides him with heat so he won't freeze, and gives him sex on the regular. None of that matters. It's her penchant for weave that's destroying the earth. To be frank and brutally blunt, if this continued, we're fucked. Fucked. Once you take away the womb from the clan, tribe, community, it perishes. Just ask the desperate Chinese males that are running around the planet asking any female to marry and give them a baby. They kidnap wives from Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines and beg them not to run away. They travel to Africa and marry black women who are left defenseless alone and inherit their matrilineal resources. All the while I have one quick question asked: where are the black men? What are they doing to prevent the top tier of their women from leaving? The baby mamas will always be available. They know this. I'm talking about the woman you can bring home to meet your mother and have her secretly ask her about her ring size. She is leaving. I've been told by one black female reader on here that she'd rather be with the historical oppressor and be taken care of and her needs met than be with a black man who refuses to build with her, refused to provide for her. Her last boyfriend even told her, even though he makes really good money in sanitation, he's not supporting a stay-at-home wife and future mother of his children. This post is painful to write, painful to reread, but necessary. If we as a collective don't get it together and begin to hold ourselves accountable for our degenerate behavior, we're not going to make it. It begins with loving the image in the mirror. Now, I heard Crystal Kerosene read this as proof that finally, black women were going to all of a sudden leap to the other side and leave. Like this is some declaration that we're finally fed up with black males or black men, and we're going to do something different. Now, what the author of this piece, I guess since she's in Philadelphia, she doesn't see it a lot. And a lot of people, especially women, think their local area where they frequent is supposed to exemplify what's going on in the world. Like she leaps from what's going on with black men in the black community and makes a further leap talking about Chinese men begging women to marry them. Like that's the fault of Chinese men instead of the Chinese government that held them to a one-child policy and their Chinese parents that wanted the male over the female. Like black women are actually going to get on a plane and fly to China to get husbands. And what she's saying is, I'm finally leaving, and if you don't change and come kiss my ass, I'm going to leave and I'm not coming back. We're leaving black men. Like that's a declaration. And they have been writing this kind of stuff. I've heard this kind of declaration for the past, it's got to be easily past 25 years at the very least. But I've seen black women, just like she describes, with Hispanic boyfriends, with Asian boyfriends, with white boyfriends. And this is since the 70s. It's not new. This is not new. Black women have been married out at the same rate that they've been marrying out or even dating out for the last 60 years. The percentage hasn't changed. Percentage has not changed. Now, the rate of black men marrying out and dating out has changed probably dramatically compared to black women, which is something they're upset about. What she's trying to say is to black men that we're no longer going to take care of you. In other words, mommy's going to leave the kids on their own. And black women still hold black men as that vision, like they're our mommies and not our women. And the gentle, sweet, kind women that they are for Hispanics or Asians or whites is different than the way that we get treated, which is something we've said for a very long time. Why do you think black men are complaining? And she never said that what black men are complaining about isn't true. What she really wants is black men to shut up and kiss their ass. And she also forgets there are way more women in this country than there are men, period. And compared to the population of the United States, the amount of black men in the United States is small, especially when you talk about the amount of black men that are what they call viable, which is only like 7 to 8 million of them. Black men can and have always been able to find other women, as black women so eloquently display every 5 seconds. We just saw the video, and Kerosene, which actually boggles my mind. She read this particular piece, complained and bragged about how black women are leaving black men, and then complains about black football players drinking and celebrating at a table with their white wives talking about light-skinned babies. Now you celebrate women going to other kind of men's, white men, and making light-skinned babies, but you look down on black men doing the exact same thing. Makes no sense. Either you're for it or you're against it. You can't be for it when women do it and be against it when men do it. But that's typical black female behavior. I don't do as I do as I say. Now I walk the streets of Los Angeles. I don't know about Philly. You know, when I go for my walk in Los Angeles, I see far more black men or black boys walking with their Hispanic girlfriend. and less of them walking with their black girlfriends. And every once in a while, I'll see a couple of black women with an Hispanic guy, or even black women with a white guy. Very seldom an Asian. I very see black women with Asian men. That is extremely rare in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles has the biggest Asian population, in fact, the biggest Asian population in the country. We include all the Asians on the planet. We have a third of the Eurasians actually live in California, and a lot of them, I would say like 2 million of them, almost 2 million of them actually live in Southern California. So I see who black women associate with, and black men associate with. Far more black men have Filipino wives, Korean wives, Vietnamese wives, Chinese wives, or Chinese girlfriends than I see black women with the opposite. Kerrison knows that. She's in California. She sees the couple makeup, and the stats bear that out. If marriage stats are any indication of dating, and they're not always one-to-one, black men actually marry out or date out at 3 times the rate compared to black women. And that's how come she talked about the best of us, or what she deems as the best of us. Because she knows there's almost 3 million more adult black women than black men. And if we lose 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, which if we did lose 300,000 of black women, say just this year, it would quadruple the number that has already existed. I think there's 162,000 black women that have married outside of the group by stats. So we're leaving stuff is basically an idle threat. Because if you leave, guess what's going to happen? Nature abhors a vacuum. Somebody's going to come fill it in. And just like black women line up at the prisons to get prison bodies, so do white women, so do Hispanic women. There are more Hispanic women in the country than there are Hispanic men. That's obvious because I see it every day. It's an idle threat. The stats are not on your side. This fake cry for help, really what it is a cry for help. Black men don't normally brag about the women that they're with because they don't feel like being a target. Black men don't even normally talk about, and very seldom that I see, black women dating somebody else. Because we know, like she said, well, there's plenty of baby mamas to go around, but a single black woman without kids, not so much. That's bullshit. They know it. You do everything to protect the race, or so you say, except do the one thing that black men want. Be the kind of woman that we want you to be. But that would be too hard. But if you can find men that can make you happy, fulfill all your dreams, I don't think there's any black man on the planet that would actually deny you that, and they would probably say go where you're going to be happy. They might not like it, but the thing is, if you're not happy, first thing a black man will say is go. We have a so-called black woman running for president that has a white husband, and all the black men know that. And most of the black men that I know that complain about Kamala Harris don't give a shit that she's married to a white man, or that Candace Owens is married to a white man. If Sir Williams hadn't thrown the white man in our face, wouldn't care about him either. Always saying to black women is try to go be happy for a change. Come back with stories that, hey, I found a great Asian guy, I found a great white guy, and this is how he treats me, and this is what I always wanted, and this is what I get. There was a lady that I followed. She was married to a white guy in the army. They got divorced, and she wasn't too happy about that. Strangely enough, she got divorced from a white guy after having 4 kids by the white guy. Or guess who she's dating? You think she's dating white guys? No, she's not. I've seen several women on YouTube that have gotten out of white relationships, marriages, got divorced, Did they go get another white guy? No. They got a black. Because in America, black men are the men of last resort. Even for Asians, even for white women, even for Hispanics. The difference is we know our place. You don't. Is what it is. SYSBM, and I'm out. Peace.